Okay. So, okay, hello. So, can someone write if they hear me now? So, you hear me now? Whoa, this is super crazy. I have never live streamed before. So, can you see me? Do you hear me? No sound. Nice to see you. Well, we can hear you. Okay, thank you so much. So, I really wanted to celebrate the 500k subscribers with question and answer video. So, and I already saw one good question from Regina Spector in the chat. Yeah, it's a nice fireplace, someone said. It's funny because it's super warm outside, so it's super stupid to have it on, but I was sitting here and I thought it would look good on the stream. So total bad use of energy. Okay, so before we start, can we just check the sound a little bit? Is the voice good? This is all very improvised from my side. I just record with a laptop microphone, and I see that the volume looks good. So, wow, I have 200 questions now, loud and clear. Thank you, Roy. So let's see how I can. Okay, so now I see I can scroll. I've never done this before, so I can scroll through the chat. And I want to start by a question from Regina Spector. So Regina Spector is in the chat. Okay, so I can't see that question. Yeah, maybe here. So Regina asked higher up about how to learn Fusion 360 and if I had any tips on any resources. And there is a YouTube channel that I love, I think, with tutorials, and I think it's called Lars Christiansen. I think he's Danish, and if you just let me search for that on YouTube, I'm gonna post the link in the chat. So let me just search that. Fusion 360 is super nice. Marius from the Marble Machine X development team, here we have Lars, helped me. He showed me a lot in the beginning, and so I actually learned it from Marius and Lars Christiansen. So this is for sorry, yeah, I can do that. At Regina Spector, here comes the link. So, okay. Oh, Regina says thanks. Whoa, the chat is going really fast, and I saw there was an option to reduce the speed of the chat, and I'm actually gonna try to do that because it's hard for me to read the questions, and I really want to answer a lot of questions in this stream because I think the stream is about answering questions. So I will try to stream options. Bear with me when I'm learning this a little bit. Basically. Okay, so I'm actually trying to So I didn't find the option to slow the chat, but after we had said this hello, hi, then we can like try to leave the chat a little bit for the questions, so I can actually see the questions and answer them. And Mikorian Chan asks, can you sing? And I would say that that is depends on what you mean with sing. I don't have a good voice, and I'm very bad at writing lyrics, so I think that got me into instrumental music. So, but if I can sing, for the purpose of this discussion, yes. But I have actually sung on stage, not like solo, but I've done it like when we were in a cover band. We played like a lot of, you know, cover band music, like Creedence Clearwater Revival. It was my friend who was singing, and I was doing backing vocals. But that was a long time ago. And when I sing, when I had an idea for a song, I always sing into my phone. And often when I try to listen to those recordings, it's actually quite hard to understand which notes I am trying to sing. So that's basically it. So Jason Beadle just made a super chat. Thanks, Jason. I am very insecure about how that system works, but thank you so much. When I stumbled upon your Marble Machine video, I was inspired to pick up my music career again. That is so cool. Would love to see you in the US or get a CD soon. So, the US. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the long... It's so funny because I'm going all sweaty from this fire because it's summer outside and I put this fire on. And I drew a W in the background, you see? Okay, so back to Jason Beadle's about coming to the US. So the plan is, I'm gonna take the opportunity to tell you a little bit about the long-term plan. First, I'm gonna finish the first Marble Machine exhibition in Utrecht. And I've been working with that whole day with a fantastic assistant, a clockmaking student called Lois. And when that is finished, I'm going back to Gothenburg and start to work with the Marble Machine X. When the Marble Machine X is finished, we're gonna make the double album. So as soon as the Marble Machine X is finished, you're not gonna see a lot of cool videos where the Marble Machine X is playing music, because we need to write music for the Marble Machine X. And we're also gonna make a double album, probably with the Marble Machine X on it, and with the band in Stockholm. And when that double album is done, then we're gonna release like 20 videos, one video for every song. And when the album is released, we're gonna go on tour. And I need to get a towel to wipe all the sweat from the fire off my face. Such a stupid idea. I'm gonna move away a little bit from the fire. Okay, that's gonna be nicer. And maybe not put so much more firewood on. Okay, I'm actually on a houseboat because I'm in Holland. So I'll leave you with a houseboat view while I'll get myself the towel. Okay, it's like an apartment, but it's water instead of grass. So enjoy that, and I'll be right back. So I'm gonna try to sit over here for some time, a little bit away from that blazing fire. Okay, sorry. So, sorry, I'm gonna turn the music down. So, okay. It's always fun doing stuff for the first time. It's just, I'm not used to doing stuff for the first time together with so many people. And so that's fun. Cheers. Okay, so to recap what I said about when we're coming to the US, we're actually thinking to start the tour in the US, and then we want to do South America and Japan first, and then the capitals of Europe. So that is the plan. But as I said, we need to finish the first Marble Machine exhibition, the Marble Machine X, the double album, release all that, and make videos for all the songs, I hope, on the album. And then it's time for the tour. So I don't know when that will be. So now I'm gonna pick up the next question from the chat. US tour. Mariano de Alto, are you making a tour for South America? Argentina? Absolutely, we really want to play in Argentina. Hablo un poquito de español y voy divertido probar hablar cuando tocar música en Argentina, ¿sí? Pero no hablo bien, pero pienso que vais a entenderme, ¿no? So, Argentina, all the South American countries we look forward to, and I can speak my bad Spanish on stage. I think that's gonna be good. Peru, Cuba, yes. We will try to tour everywhere, and everywhere where people want to see us play live. And I hope when we play Wintergatan featuring Marble Machine, I hope a lot of people want to see that live. Saludo, me viva Argentina, Bruno Cutuli. Hey Bruno, nice to meet you. Brazil, from Gamer Mystico Pregoso, absolutely. I really hope. And Mexico, of course. So, now I'm gonna pick up a question. Your Spanish is great, from Mariano Dalto. Muchas gracias. Australia, from Nathan Renan. Yes, hope so. So, let's see. Someone asked about Simon Getch. Yes. So, Barnaky asks, ever heard of Simon Getch? And it's so funny because I didn't see Simon's videos until I started watching her videos maybe 1 year ago. And what I really like with her videos is that she seems a little bit like able to do whatever she wants with her videos. I think that's really nice. That suits her videos. And I also love the breakfast machine. And I think she's from Sweden originally, but now she lives, I think, in San Francisco. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if people don't know about her, you can watch the video called The Breakfast Machine by Simon Getch, because that's my favorite one. So that was answer to Barnaky. Have you ever heard of Simon Getch? Okay. So Daleo Eaton says, I want to say you are an inspiration to composers, including me. I noticed you covered some game music. Do you have a favorite game composer or game? So, Daleo, yes I have, and the favorite game is Mega Man 2 for Nintendo 8-bit. I also actually love the Super Mario series on the 8-bit console. I don't have a console now, but I wanted to buy one like some months ago, but I know that I shouldn't, because I think I would start speedrunning. So I've been actually watching Darbian lately. So speedrunning, for you who doesn't know what that is something huge right now. That's to try to finish a game as fast as possible. And when I'm really tired after a long day, to watch someone speedrun is like the most relaxing thing ever. And it's also, they run, like Darbian runs a lot of Super Mario Bros. 1 that I played a lot when I was young. And so that's like, I don't know, but it takes a lot of time. So that's why I don't want to get a console, because I should put that time on making music and not start like manically speedrunning, which I would do instantly. So Mega Man 2, to answer the question, Mega Man 2 is my absolute favorite soundtrack. The whole, all the worlds, and then I think I also liked actually the whole Mega Man series. So let me get back to the chat. And again, this is the first time I'm doing this, so please excuse me if I'm a little bit slow, because I'm like juggling my windows on my little laptop here. I think for the next, if we do it again, I'm gonna get 2 screens. I think that will be better for everyone. So back to the chat. Hello Martin, you said that you are going to visit all capitals of Europe. Are you going to Moscow? I would love to play in Moscow. And since the tour is 3 years... Oh, did I say who this was from? Oh, maybe I missed your name. But the question about Moscow, I would love to play in Moscow. It's a long time still until we're gonna book the tour, but we're really gonna try to book a show in Moscow and hope to see you there. So, how did you get the ID for the marble machine? Who asked? Fritz van der Holst, see you Sunday at the meet and greet Spelclock Museum. Nice, Fritz. As I said on the previous video, me and Lois, the clockmaking student, have been trying so hard today to get the marble machine playing, and it's really reluctant of behaving well. So, to Fritz van der Holst and to all your friends and to everyone who's coming, please, you're gonna love to see the machine, but I'm gonna suffer super hard if we can't get it to work somewhat okay. But today was a mess. Today was a complete mess. So I had to go early to make it to this live stream, and we're gonna start really early tomorrow again to struggle with the marble machine at. And then we had the question. So what? And I'm sorry again for losing your name here. So what gave you the machine? What gave you the ID to make the marble machine? And that was actually 2.5 years ago. I played in Utrecht with Wintergatan, and the festival wanted to invite me to see all the machines at Spelclock Museum. And when I was there, it was the day before the show at the festival. I was there a whole day, and I think in the museum I saw a big programming wheel of a clock tower. This programming wheel was like huge, with metal spikes coming out that hit levers that played music on bells. And when I walked out of there, I wanted to make something with this programming wheel. Then I started to watch a YouTube channel, which I'm gonna put in the chat right now, because I love this YouTube channel and I think most of you will as well. I'm gonna search for it now. Oh, I can just write the name in the chat, that's faster. So, Mattias Vandel, YouTube channel. I just put that in the chat, so whenever you can just type in Mattias Vandel. And Mattias had made a program that generates gears for plywood. So, and he had also built a marble machine. So when I saw Matthias' channel and I saw all his 500 videos, and I've been to Spillclock Museum for 2.5 years ago, I had this idea for the marble machine. So from now on, I'm gonna see who is asking the question. Doctor's Game have asked, how are you today? And as I said earlier, I've been battling with the first marble machine the whole day. And to be a little bit straightforward, I'm so tired of it. It's really, I'm really done with it. It's like, today I was standing again trying to fix these things that I was battling with to make the video. And this like built up frustration of not being able to solve the problems came back to me like instantly. So to answer Dr. Steen's question, how are you today? I'm fantastic because I'm doing this for the first time, but I'm also worried that I can't get the marble machine to work good enough for Sunday. So but it was fun because I also felt that the first marble machine, I can't get it to work properly. Now that's actually why I'm retiring it. And I also learned this week a lot about what we should absolutely not do on the Marble Machine X. So when I tried to solve a problem on the first Marble Machine, I fixed this thing, and everything is connected with everything. So everything else has a domino effect. And then I need to fix something else. So I fix one problem, which leads to the next problem. And when we're engineering the Marble Machine X, we can build it in a way so we can adjust things individually, like adjust point A and B, C, D up to X won't be affected. So that's going to be the difference. Okay, another question. Maja Laneme, are you too big to play on small venues? I missed you when you played in Deluxe in Växjö, and it's one of my biggest regrets. I have a story about that show, actually. Deluxe is a super nice little stage in western southern Sweden. And I am going to answer your question first, Maja. If we're too big to play on small venues, absolutely not. I think what we should do in small venues is that we can play several shows on the same venue. Like, we can be on the same venue for a week, maybe, or for 3 days. Because I do love small venues, and it's also very good for the band to just stay. We can set up all our equipment and then just play several nights in place at the same time. We have an idea of maybe doing that for the first US show, like to find a city and then to see how many people wants to come and see us. And if we sell out the first night, then we can ask the venue to also reserve the second night and also the third, maybe. So I don't want to be too big to play on small venues, but it's all about logistics, and we're gonna be now with the Marble Machine, and we're gonna be a lot of people on the tour now. We always had a super small tour crew, but on this tour it's gonna take that we are much more personnel, so that costs more money, and I don't want expensive concert tickets. So it's like easy mathematics that the concert tickets have to pay for the logistics, and then we could play several nights in the same place. That's easy for us because we don't have to transport everything. So that's a way to play on small venues. But I want to tell you this stupid story about, because Maja Laneme asked about Deluxe, the venue in Sweden in Växjö. And we played there, we always finished with the Paradise song. And often on one place in the song, when Marcus do the Rage Against the Machine trial, trioler, it's called in Swedish. I know, that's like do 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 do, blah blah blah, do 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 do, you know, blah blah blah. Then I always make this cool jump, and it was a super fun show. So I was thinking, I'm gonna make this really extra cool jump today. So I did it all I had, like from the drum podium. The only problem was that the ceiling was so extremely low, so I think it was like 10 centimeters between my head and the ceiling before I made the jump. And this was actually really scary. So I made the jump, everything went black, I was on the floor, I didn't know where I was, and I felt such a neck pain. And David Sandén, the bass player, he was thinking that I was like really doing the rock star thing, like lying on the floor playing guitar, you know, and and I was actually only passed out, and then I like got up and I had this pain, and then I saw later that the roof was squares, and every other square had 1 centimeter padding of some kind of sound material, and every other square was bare concrete. And I hit a square with a 1 centimeter padding, and I don't know what would have happened if I would have jumped up straight into that concrete. And I get a little bit shaky when I think about it still. And it's a law, like on low stages you have to have the big signs like no jumping on stage. And I always thought they were like a little bit like, why do they say that? But since the looks in Växjö, I really understand. So, and this is funny because it's also, are you too big to play on small venues? Obviously, because my head jumped into the roof in Café Deluxe. So let's just answer the question finally with saying we are too big to play on stages where I can't make that cool rock and roll jump in the Paradise Zone. So we need more ceiling height than that for safety. Okay. Sorry, now I'm gonna answer many questions fast, efficient. Marius Hern. Rick Koilmans. Where in Holland are you, Martin? Can I stop to chat? Sorry. No. Oh my god, Jelle's marble runs. Oh, Jelle is here. So, everybody, I want you to meet a dear friend of mine. He has a fantastic YouTube channel. He's called Jelle Backer, and tomorrow me and Jelle is gonna make a collaboration. He's coming to visit me, and I'm going to visit his 11,000 marble run in Gouda in Holland, the Netherlands. Sorry. So I'm gonna put that in the chat. Wait, sorry. I'm gonna actually make the effort to find the link this time. So Jelle builds marble runs. Jelle's marble runs. So 1 second. So now I'm putting the link in the chat. So for you who don't know what a marble run is, in the marble business we usually differ the marble run with the marble machine and the rolling ball sculpture. Rolling ball sculpture is a little more fine art, like metal threads and big marbles. And the marble runs is often more like roller coasters, and the marble machines is a little more with gears. And Jelle makes fantastic marble runs, and you should check his videos out because they're amazing. And tomorrow I'm gonna film his big one, and that's gonna be a Wintergatan video in some weeks. So the big 11,000 marble run in Gouda. So it's the first time we're gonna meet tomorrow in real life. So looking forward to that, Jelle. Yeah, in the Maitri Narashita says, ooh, marble business. Yeah, in the marble business we but it's actually true. Thomas McLaughlin says favorite mics, and that's actually very easy to answer. I have a good answer, and it's the contact microphones I always use from a Swedish microphone inventor called Erlund. And for full transparency, he actually usually gives us microphones because he likes people seeing us using them. But that's not the reason, no, actually we're borrowing them long term from Erlund. So that's how it goes. I just want to mention that. But these contact microphones are triangular, and I work a lot with contact microphones, and nothing that I have tried out have come close to these. So the cool thing with a contact microphone is that, like the marble machine, you can isolate the sound and have a clean signal. So to answer Thomas McLaughlin, Heirloom microphones. And then he says you use their overheads on drums as well. Yes, I am not a super good audio engineer, but Barney and Marcus from the band, they really love these mics as live drum mics, the Heirloom overhead microphones. And I think it's like with mics with cameras, that if you have a good idea, it actually doesn't matter which mic you're using. If you have a good song, it's gonna be catchy in a $10 mic and in a $10,000 mic. The song is gonna be catchy. If you have a good idea for a video, it's gonna be good even if you film it with a potato, or if you use a red dragon, or what they called. So, but microphones can be very inspiring. So Samantha said, I missed your last name here. Samantha said, what was your first instrument you played? Okay, and Rick said something here. You did say my name and question, but didn't answer it. Between... Okay, I'm gonna come back to... Sorry, it was so many questions. You have to excuse me. What was the first instrument I played? Guitar. I saw a video of Jimi Hendrix played Monterey, and when I saw Jimi Hendrix burning his guitar in Monterey, I thought I want to do that. And then I started listening to Rage Against the Machine, and I read an interview about Tom Morello's mic switching technique. For you who know Rage Against the Machine, you know the song Know Your Enemy. It's like... And what he does is that he turns on and off the microphones. So you just hold down the strings, and he has two microphones, 0 volume on one and full volume on one. And by switching the microphones, he gets this... Then he uses a whammy digitech pedal to add a fifth, so he has a double note. But the important thing is the mix switching technique. And I think I was maybe 13 years old or something, and I read about an interview that when Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine had tried this mic switching technique first, then his friend came into his room and was like, did you get a synthesizer? No, it's just my guitar. And there was something that like, wow, can you make a guitar sound like a synthesizer? And that together with the Jimi Hendrix, who was also quite like very inventive with how he used the guitar, that made me want to play music. Now I'm back to you, Rick Kuhlmans. Why did you say my name and question but didn't answer it? Because the chat was crazy, so I'm sorry. Between the question was, where in Holland are you, Martin? I'd love to know, and because I live near a lake like that one, I might know where it is. Okay. I'm not gonna say exactly where it is because I'm a guest in this house, but I can say it's outside Amsterdam. So, but I'm impressed if you do know where it is, because all the lakes in Holland looks the same. You see it? Oh, I'm turning it. So this water is like 1 meter deep all over. For you who don't know, Netherlands is a land that they take out of the sea. So the sea was so shallow, so they actually pushed the water out. So Amsterdam is 3 meters under water, the sea level. So Dutch are fantastic engineers with water engineering and stuff. So, and a lot of the landscapes is like drawn by architects. So sometimes you see the trees are standing in like a straight pattern everywhere. So it's very different from Sweden that way. Sorry, I'm just gonna move. How is it going so far? I'm just winging it. New question. Okay, so Sed Sposato have a very relevant question. Why do you want to burn Jimi Hendrix's guitar? Actually, I meant I want to do what Jimi Hendrix did. I'm just joking. I did get the irony on that one. What's your favorite food from Mikorin-chan? The Italian cuisine. Daniel Tomasic, top 10 anime betrayals. I am the only anime schooling I get from PewDiePie's videos, so I don't know anything about anime. So, but maybe you can give me a good for what I should see first. JD Wee, do you do brass instruments? No, I usually say that I can't do anything with a string and a bow, like violin or cello, and I can't do horn instruments where you need to blow, because that's such a strange technique. Melodica is the only like wind instrument I can play. So, TDO Brandano, do you have a favorite band or music genre? So, this has been like, I always been a musical chameleon, and I always had very bad like self-esteem when growing up, because all my friends were so cool. Like, I'm only listening to Bob Dylan between 56 and 58. All the other music is shit. That was like the general attitude. You like stick to something really cool and eclectic and special, and stick to that super hard, and everything else is rubbish. And I was like the opposite. I was like, I liked everything. And I was like, so I listened to Roxette and Rage Against the Machine, and then Jan Tillsen and Daft Punk. So that's like a big mix. So, but I think the band who taught me music is still Rage Against the Machine. Maybe Roxette, actually. The Look Sharp album is one of the best records ever made, I think. So I don't listen to lyrics. I'm a little bit tone deaf to lyrics, which maybe makes it easier for me to like the Look Sharp album than any of you who actually listen to the lyrics. But the pop songs on that album is fantastic. Yes, Roxette. Humphrey Bogart, yes, Roxette. So, John Reusser, who inspires you? I think I talked about that in a video recently. When I heard Elon Musk on his TED Talk talking about future inventions to get the anxiety level down, I thought that was quite amazing. I mean, his accomplishments with SpaceX and the idea of an exciting future, I was already super hooked on that. And I rented once a Tesla Model S. I rented it and drove it from Sweden to France and home again, 5,000 kilometers. It was last summer, and I filmed the whole trip, and I wanted always to make a video about that, but I did not dare to do that video yet. But someday I'm gonna edit that video, and I think that kind of thinking inspires me. Musically, Jan Tillsen inspires me a lot. That's a no-brainer if you hear the music I'm doing. There is something in the mix between happiness and sadness of his music that is just rings a tone with me, and that is something I think you can hear in almost everything I do. So, Elon Musk and Jan Tillsen. Ian Nelson, why do you choose to sing in English? Do you feel that sometimes you aren't able to express yourself perfectly being your non-native language? Not that you have bad English. We actually don't sing, but maybe you mean all the talking. I talk a lot in English, and that's because most people understand English. Men om jag byter till svenska så kommer det bli mycket svårare att förstå. Men så därför kör vi på engelska. Joel Bennycourt, are you a Beatles fan? Absolutely, yes. I think I grew up with my parents playing Beatles songs on the piano, and I think the harmonies of the chords in the... I'm actually for the early period, the pop period, And I know that the more experimental later period is a little bit more interesting musically maybe, but I love like the early pop songs. Daniela Paula, do you like OK Go videos? When I first saw the treadmill video, I couldn't stop watching it. I thought it was, of course, as amazing as it is. And the recent videos that are very much high production are also very impressive, and I think I study them more than I like them, but of course I like them. Yes, so the answer is yes. But the answer is yes, but sometimes it would be so fun to see what they did if they did a little low budget production, I think, because it's you just have to come up with like challenge themselves. Okay, now we're gonna do like the treadmill video but with something else. I would love to see that, but I really like what they're doing. So I'm searching for a new question. Daniel Tomasic, when do you expect the Marble Machine X to be finished? I have a goal of it being finished on the 31st of August 2017. But the fantastic development team is making that maybe possible, but it is a little bit ambitious. So, but as I said earlier in the stream, that if it's done 2017, 31st of August, it's not going to come any music from it then, because then comes a big period when we have to compose really good music, because the music has to be better than the machine. It's not the machines first and then the music. It has to be music first and then the machines. So even if it's finished on the 31st of August, it's not going to come out a song in September. It's going to be strange because the machine going to be finished and you will probably wait at least a year to hear it play. So now you're preparing that. I'm just going to move into the sun a little bit more. Christian Samson, how do you get the supplies and money for your projects and machines? Also, how did the band form? So Christian Samson, how do you get the supplies and money for your projects and machines? So I live from the income from the music, like the streaming services like Spotify and iTunes. That's my basic funding, and I always loved to work, so I actually don't spend so much money privately. I take all money I can get and buy supplies for my projects with. So even if it's a music instrument or if it's birch plywood, which is really expensive for my marble machines, I use almost I reinvest all the money I get hold of into the projects. And how did the band form? So the band, I put the band together and I was looking for musicians that were unafraid of learning new instruments, like they had to learn the harp, and like David is a bass player and Evelina is a keyboard player, and on the Paradise song they play harp, and Marcus the drummer plays glockenspiel and theremin. And so I looked for people that I liked to be with that were not afraid to learn new music instruments. And I mean, when we played our first show as Pipeline in northern Sweden, there was some of the instruments that a lot of band members had only played for a small amount of time. So I was looking for that quality, and then one by one I found David, Marcus and Evelina. And it's a shame that we're living in different cities. It's big, that distance is, we don't have a rehearsal room, and I think we never had a really good rehearsal room. and that is something that would have been so nice. Hopefully, if we can afford it, we can set up a rehearsal room permanently in Stockholm. So even if I don't live in Stockholm, we always have a place to play music together when we see each other. That would be a really good solution. So I'm gonna take another question. So Lois is in the chat. So Lois Tunan, hi, thought it would be fun to watch a part of the live stream. See, everything went well. So Lois, hey Lois. Lois is the clockmaking student who is helping me getting through this week. And she has been really great. You come on Sunday, you're probably gonna meet her, and you watch the videos, is gonna meet her in upcoming Wintergatan Wednesdays videos. And today, when we were working on the marble machine, I procrastinated the whole day, so people came in and talked to us, and I like showed things about the marble machine X instead of fixing the first marble machine. And she had to talk with me after the day, like, from tomorrow we're not gonna procrastinate anymore. So thanks, Lois. Nice to see you here. Do you like hand spinners from Lelos? PS from Brazil. So yes, of course. I was actually trying the hand spinners the other day, and they're of course fascinating. I understand completely why they became so popular. Awesome Billy 3 YouTuber gaming fan. Can you play by ear? I can, and I would love to get together and come up with something with you. I got some samples on my channel. So check out Awesome Billy 3. It would be so fun to do stuff like that. When the Marble Machine X is done, when the album is out, and when the tour is over. So let's see if that can happen in the future. So let's see. Continue testing. How many languages do you speak? How do you learn them? Actually, Swedish, English, and Spanish, I would say. And the Spanish will come back if I'm in a Spanish-speaking country. But now, when I'm planning to maybe to move to France, I have started to try to learn French on YouTube. But it's all down to motivation, and I don't know. It's going very slow. But the grammar structure of Spanish is the same as French. So it should be possible. So like everything else, I'm learning languages on YouTube. So I'm going to take another question. So Camilo Sanchez asks a question that a lot of people ask. Do you put the new songs to Spotify like Prototype 1? And no, all these songs that I put in my videos, it's often songs that I made the day before the video, or even the same day as the video comes out. Oh, sorry. I have to put my power supply. And the songs are really fast. And I like that because it takes away a little bit of pressure of making the perfect song. So I'm making them really fast, and I don't want to put that on Spotify because I feel like Spotify is more proper record releases. And maybe this is like a little bit of an old thinking. Maybe I should just make everything available everywhere. But I feel that I am responsible for some kind of quality control. And so instead I put it up on Bandcamp as pay what you want free download. So everyone, I think I had the songs downloaded for free 70,000 times last month, which I absolutely love. And a lot of people are also like putting a little bit donation in the Bandcamp. And I think I'm gonna gather all these kind of fast, easy made music that I'm making in some hours on Bandcamp, and I won't put them on Spotify. As I said, I have to be responsible a little bit for the quality control. And I feel what we release on Spotify and iTunes is more official Wintergatan releases. And there I want the whole band on the songs. and I want them to be unlike everything you ever heard before. I actually want to invent new music for the double album. That's one of my dreams. If I could invent music that I didn't hear before, and you didn't hear before, that is beautiful and maybe recognizable, but new. That is just like the Marble Machine and the Modular. If I can make the same kind of thing, but with the music itself as well, and it will still just have a steady beat that you can dance to, I think that's what I want to do. So that's what's coming on the double album. Can you say something in Dutch from Dide van Dijk? Ik heb geen idee. Maar ik denk goed. Nee. That was it. I understand Dutch almost, but I'm not so good at it. So this was a good question, and again the name is gone. Sorry, I'm going to try to get the name, because I see the question and then the name gets drowning out in the chat. So I really apologize when I didn't catch the name. But someone asked, is it possible to talk to you when I come to a Wintergatan live show, or are you too big already? And what we always did when we played was that we afterwards went down to where we're selling the merchandise, the records, and talked to everyone in the audience that wanted to talk to us. And I played with my band I had before called Detektivbyrån. Check it out on Spotify if you didn't know about it. You will like it. We released 22 songs with Detektivbyrån. And we played support act to Amanda Palmer in London and Paris. And Amanda Palmer was already then had a very big underground following at that point, and I think it was 1,000 people in the venue. And after her fantastic concert, she sat down at a table and she talked to all the 1,000 people. She was at that table for 4 hours, and when I saw her doing that, I was like, yes, that's how this is so great. So it was like after the show there was another show starting. And I mean, if we play for 5,000 people, it's going to be difficult. But on all the shows we've done so far, even big festival shows, we played for 5,000 people in Germany last summer. Then you say, oh, see you down there after the show, and then we talk to the people who comes there. I think that's important. So to answer your question, I don't know what kind of venues we will play. If I make music no one has ever heard before, maybe we're gonna play big venues. And if the venues are gonna be too big to make it logistically possible, then I'm actually gonna think that is as sad as you will. But I'm gonna be very happy to play in the venue, so yeah. But whenever it's possible, we're gonna do it. JM Music asked, do you ever work with programs like FL Studio to work on new songs? I work almost only in Logic. I love Logic. I started with Logic, and I have it really comes natural to me. I think for the new album that I want to get a mixing desk, I always worked only straight inside of Logic, and what that does to you is that you look a little bit too much. You look at the music a little bit too much. You see the waveforms, I know exactly where to cut it to make it tight. You see the music in front of you. And maybe if I work a little bit more on a mixing desk, and I can put some EQ already when recording, I can put some compression, maybe I have to work a little bit more with my ears than with my eyes, because when it's come out to you, you have it in your earphones. You don't see it. So Logic is wonderful, but I'm gonna try to learn to look away from the screen a little bit. Here's an interesting question from Mark109K. Your music is such a perfect fusion of folk/electronic, but maybe to reach a higher success, don't you think that you could focus on a less folk style and more modern, etc.? Greetings from Italy. I think there is. I wouldn't think of it like that, but I think it's something in a sense that goes a little bit with something that I feel, and I always get jealous when I hear songs that you can nod your head to. Like the Daft Punk Random Access Memories album. There's not a single song on that album that you can't nod your head to. It's just a kind of... It's just something with that tempo, which I think is what you're meaning with more modern. I don't mean exactly Daft Punk. But tempos that are very easy to follow and listen to doesn't have to be shallow. I think I want to make something on the double album that is complex behind the surface, but on the surface very pleasant, and maybe music that you can have in the background while you're having a party. It doesn't have to like attract your attention at all time. And maybe that quality that you can play the music in the background is maybe a little bit more. That's a little bit what I think of when you say modern. And so maybe. So there's super many people asking what happened with Detektiv Byrån, my first band, and that's a very, very long story. And this is not the time and place to start to dig into that story. But we decided to quit the band, and it was actually not so much more dramatic than that. It went very well for Detektiv, and I'm very, very proud of the 22 songs we made. So definitely check out the music that I made with Detektiv Byrån, and then I'm gonna let the full music of Detektiv Byrån speak for itself, so enjoy that. Okay. So, okay, I missed the super chat. I've had my other window in front of the super chat. So to everyone in the super chat, I'm sorry if you waited long for me to see you. So. Wow, there it was, the super chat. Andy Vlogs. Question. I've been a YouTuber for 10 years. How do you decide when it's time to quit? Whether it's a project, an idea, a passion, etc. Wow, that's a good question, Andy. I don't mean if you... I hear your question in two different ways. First, I think about perfectionism, which I am suffering from. So I'm not quitting working on something when it's actually already done. I go on for hours and hours, and so I'm not good at answering that question. They say you should take something up to 80%, and then leave the 20% for the viewer. That works for me sometimes. I don't know if it's an answer that's going to work for you. But I guess, how do you decide when it's time to quit? When it's not fun anymore. I think that's the answer. When it's really not fun anymore, then I think it's time to quit. In whatever sense you're meaning. So, Bartholomew Bilby. Will you come to the USA for tour? Denver, please. And we talked about that earlier in the stream, and we will absolutely come to the USA for tour. And at this point I don't know exactly which cities, but that we are going to the US is really decided. We're gonna try to start the tour there. Now I see my camera can't decide on how to focus, so shall we get back to the fireplace? Because now it's maybe not so warm anymore. sorry. Where's the mouse? So this live stream is quite improvised from my side. I'm just in a house where I'm guest and I'm not used to live streaming, so I'm just repeating that. Hope you bear with me when we have some technical breaks like this one. Okay, so I'm gonna take a new question from the chat. Mufflon PL says, maybe in future Poland tour. Absolutely, we would love to play that. Oh, thank you. You say you support me now, and they say that it's working great. No need to excuse from Anders Jackson. Thanks, Anders. That was nice. Adrian Gurin asks, how have you learned the music? Have you learned in a school music or alone? And I think I have learned basically alone, but I have been in 2 music schools. There was one was like playing guitar, and one was for composing pop songs. So in that second song, which was more for songwriting, I did that was a really good music education. So I'm self-taught, but the 2 years where I was in this pop song school was fantastic. You got a key card to a studio, and they said, write as many songs as you can, and we'll come back to check in upon you a month later. And there was no lessons, and I spent 24 hours per day in that studio learning to produce in Logic. It is really too hot here by the fire. Can you see that? I'm like, yeah. Okay, we're going back to the stupid camera flicker by the sea, okay? Because I can't really sit there. It's also more beautiful. Hang on. Right back. And here you don't see me. Okay. What's the ultimate compromise? 1 second. Sorry. Yeah. Compromise. Noemi Janossi asks, is Life Universe inspired by the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Actually, I don't think so, but I do love that book. Now we can see. So, Giovanni Johannes asks, are you reading comments? And that's a very good question, because I try to bring myself to courage to read comments, and I have people reading them for me to sometimes. My friend Hannes, for example, from the Trainers YouTube channel, who films a lot with me, he sometimes, Martin, now you can really read the comments because people are really nice, and then I read comments, and it's often very fun, but it's still very scary to read comments. But I think I should, if you're a little more engineer-minded, you should really read comments, because it's feedback, right? So I should read the comments, but there is something scary about it, because I want to answer everyone, and when you have 500 comments, it's such a shame that it's not 48 hours per day, because then I could put 5 hours to answer the comments. So I do read comments, but from time to time I'm so exhausted once I made a video. So I'm like making the video and I'm already postponing everything else for this video for 3 days. So then it becomes a little bit like I am putting the video down and starting with the Marble Machine X, and then I don't always read the comments. But I think I should stay like right after the video is out and talk to the audience, like their first reactions. So that's what I would want to do. Diancy asks, did you take an engineering course or self-taught? Engineering, completely self-taught. Or taught by my engineering friends. They taught me. Scarlath Lois. Many people say that you copy Jan Tiersen. I honestly believe that you are very different. Continue... I lost her. Continue... Here. Continue with your musical projects. They are evolved and wonderful. Thanks, Scarlath. And if the people says that I'm copying Jan Tiersen, they are totally right, because I am copying Jan Tiersen. And if you listen to Erik Satie, you will hear that Jan Tiersen is, I'm not gonna say copying, but I'm gonna say that he's very inspired by Erik Satie. And that is how music works. And from the start also, how with Detective Björn, the first band, I was the one telling the journalist all the time that we took the accordion and the glockenspiel straight from the Amélie from Montmartre soundtrack. And so that's, if people say that I'm copying Jan Tiersen, then I'm actually happy that they heard the likeness, because that's what I was trying to achieve. So I don't see it as a problem. And apparently there's much fewer people copying Jan Tiersen than, for example, copying other bands. So I'm a little bit lucky there. And now I heard a lot of bands with a Wintergatan kind of sound, and I love that. Quinn Gardner, if you're a Swedish band, why do you speak English? That's because on YouTube, 1% of the traffic on my YouTube channel comes from Sweden. So it would be a little bit strange to, and I think it's like 27% from the US. So it would be a little strange to talk Swedish to the 1% that will understand, while the 27% from the US would not understand. Oh, I love this question. Kat Villar, how do you get the confidence to believe in your ID? I think this we can talk about generally, like not about talking about just me, but talking about like generally how to believe in an ID. And it's really, think about this. How do you get the confidence to believe in your ID? There's different ways. First of all, if you have an ID that you know is great, then it's easy. Like when I had the ID with the Marble Machine, I knew it was a great ID. So I believed in it. I believed in it so much so I didn't stop building when everything went wrong. But maybe you have to start to practice. So I have a lot of IDs that I don't know is a good idea. I don't know if this live stream was a good idea before, but I wanted to try it, and for me it feels like it was a good idea. I don't know about you, and I think you have to learn to try your IDs, and then you have to understand that when they are failing, that's all part of trying. Like there is this Japanese saying about it's not about never falling, but to rise after each fall. And that's like very true for snowboarding. Like everyone who's tried to learn snowboarding knows that the first day you will spend more time on the ground than standing up. And without doing that day of falling, you will never be able to snowboard. And I think so you don't, to get the confidence to believe in your idea, I think you have to try to believe in your ideas. Like tell yourself to believe in the idea and test them. And when it all goes wrong, then you should look at it like that it went right because you tried. And that's the thing to carry on to the next time. So, I mean, the first marble machine is an interesting example because it failed, because it didn't work, but it made this big success, which probably is the reason why many of you are watching this live stream now, a year later. And so, I mean, if you can fail and still have 45 million views on a video, of course we didn't fail everything, but it failed in some parts. I don't know. I think you have to practice, and I'm really I'm really scared for a lot of things. Obviously, since I'm even scared for YouTube comments sometimes. And then it's like just trying the idea will just try to try the idea. I'll repeat the Japanese saying: the art is not to never fall, but to get up after each fall. And talent is overrated. Practice makes perfect. That's a Swedish saying that I just made up. Talent is overrated, practice makes perfect. It's really, really true. So practice to believe in your ideas and you will learn to believe in them. Even the ones that will fail, and that's okay. Will you come, Stephen Grobe, eller Gross, will you come to Vancouver, Canada with Marble Machine X? Really hope to. Really hope to come to Canada. And I mean, when the Marble Machine X is done and we have the double album done, I want to play every city in the world. But we will try to make a tour that makes it possible for most of you to travel to the shows without having to travel too long. Moss Coacher asks, where does one begin with modular synths and how did you start using them in the moduling? So I'm gonna just give you a link, Moss, in the chat, and it's to the German site where I buy my modular synths. And I think that's a good place because they have the Eurorack system. Did you get that link? Yeah, www.dopfer.de. I don't work with them. I built my own moduling from their things and I mailed them a lot of times, like, do you like my moduling? I made it from your synthesizer parts. But they never replied, probably they never saw it. And so I don't work with them, so I'm not advertising for them at all, but I think they make cool things. So I would try one oscillator and something to control that oscillator. So you can actually buy 2 modules and start with that in the Eurorack system. So happy slappy face. Drop some marbles, Martin. Oh, they're in the museum. I mean, I am filming this museum every day, and I can't even take a picture and put it on Instagram or anything because I feel every picture I take doesn't tell the whole story. Because this museum is so fantastic, and the machines they have. On Monday we're gonna make a lot of videos documenting the machines of the museum. So my plan is to maybe have like Museum Machine Monday on the channel and release a lot of extra videos showing what these instruments actually do and how they work. We're gonna have a guide from the museum explaining where the instruments comes from. And it's so much instrument around me every day where I'm working right now. So I come home like in the evening totally exhausted from walking around them and wanting to show them to you, but not knowing where I should begin. So that's so amazing with the Spillclock Museum. Okay. So I'm gonna take another question. Tom Hutchinson, what was the hardest construction aspect of the marble machine? It was the mute mechanism, because it wasn't built in from the start. So first I wanted to say that it was to get a line of marbles to drop one at a time. But after that, it was actually the muting system. So now my camera is really annoying. Let's try this. I'm talking too much with my hands, I think. I think that's why this exposure is going up and down. I'm sorry. So the most difficult part to construct with the first marble machine was the muting system. And that was because it wasn't planned. And we had a fantastic suggestion from Alexei Ivanov on the photo sharing page of a muting system for the Marble Machine X. And we're actually using Alexei's solution straight off. He was basing his solution a little bit on something I did and I think Marius developed. And then Alexei came up with turning everything upside down. And now when I'm trying to make the first marble machine work every day, I am really understanding that it was the muting system that really was the worst. So John Music is sending a super chat very early. Now I saw it because my window was over that. I'm sorry for that. John Music. Martin, this is in Swedish. Martin, du är min största inspiration just nu och jag skulle gärna skicka paket till dig. Har du någon adress jag kan skicka det till? Absolut, Johan. Om du mejlar på vintergatan@vintergatan.net och skriv Johan från Uddevalla i ämnet, så svarar jag dig där direkt. That sounds fantastic. Okay. So, I'm gonna take another question. Regina Spector, Martin, what are your parents like? My parents are the kind of people who always drove me to band rehearsals in the old super square big Volvo, and when I was starting with music, so they have supported me so much, and I think that is one of the biggest reasons that I've been able to experiment so much, because they provided some kind of it was okay for me to experiment because I had this support from them. So that's how they are like. Faceless Diary Music. My question: will you first do a new song on the Marble Machine X, or will you remake the Marble Machine song? I will absolutely not remake the Marble Machine song, because people already think that the first Marble Machine only could play that song because it only ever played that song. So I'm going to make something brand new first, second, third, and fifth, and fourth. But then we're of course going to make the Marble Machine song on the new Marble Machine as well, and play it live, and make a video of that live. But it won't be the first thing that happens. Yeah, Jappy. Hey Martin, are you able to just have a chat with fans in the museum? Do you mean I thought you meant a live stream. Yeah, today we talked with everyone who came into the room, and we got very little done. So tomorrow I'm thinking, I don't know really how we're gonna do it, because the machine is not working, and I have to show it for... On Friday they have some kind of press conference, but I think I'm gonna tell the press that it's not working, and on Sunday is the real tours, and I hope it can play like... I thought something like do 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 something like that. I want the machine to do. If it can play that, then I'm gonna be happy. Oh, this is super funny from... Wait, I lost your name. I don't know if I can search in the chat. Jimmy Kirton. Martin, what are some of your favorite films? You should check out one called Only Lovers Left Alive. That is one of my favorite films. It was so funny, Jimmy, that you mentioned that film. It's about two vampires, and I do have a thing for vampires. They are just so cool. And I think the vampires in The Only Lovers Left Alive by Jim Jarmusch is the coolest vampires. So these are the absolutely the coolest vampires. So apart from that, of course, Amélie from Montmartre is really one of my favorite films, and I love the Harry Potter books, and I get really pissed off with the 6th movie, because in the 6th Harry Potter movie, when... Sorry for spoiling this, but if you don't want a spoiler on the Harry Potter series, so stop listening now for 1 minute. But in the 6th book, Dumbledore gets killed. And in the book, Harry is stupefied under the cloak, right? And Dumbledore have told him... Dumbledore even stupefies Harry under the cloak. Dumbledore have told him, you're not allowed to intervene in anything that happens, because obviously he's planned everything, which is another spoiler, but we're still under the spoiler alert. And so that is in the book. So Harry is numb and invisible and see Dumbledore die. In the film, they don't stupefy Harry. So Harry is standing behind the stair, and this makes me so upset, because this is not my Harry as I know him. Because Harry is standing under a stair looking out like this, and it's like in the film that he's like obeying Dumbledore, but I know that Harry would not have obeyed Dumbledore in that situation. And I don't understand why they have to change an aspect like that. Let me know if there's more out there who are outraged by the 6th Harry Potter film, because I think it's a disgrace. So, sorry, I was starting to ranting about what films I don't like, but I actually like the Harry Potter films really much, and I also don't like that the end fight is placed outside. In the book, the end fight is played inside in the big hall, in front of everyone. I think that is such a strong conclusion. I don't like that Harry is like outside, probably because it was cheaper to produce it, because they don't have to pay the wages for all these famous actors. So they were like filming that separately a little bit or something. I don't understand why Harry and Voldemort has to make the end fight outside. So that's another thing a little bit from this total slaughter of the Harry character there in this scene in the 6th film. I'm getting really tired, because it's been a really long day, and I'm gonna talk about Harry Potter for 1 more hour if I don't stop myself. And I think we should maybe start to, I don't know, structure this live stream a little bit, or maybe try to finish soon. I don't know how to do this, because it's the first time. But for now, I'm gonna take another question. Per Brickstad, how do you invent new melodies? That's a mystery, and for me it has been easier the past time to invent new machines, and I really need to switch the focus that I've had on the instruments and the marble machines and the modulines and the music boxes, when the Marble Machine X is done, I already said to all the Swedish people on the Swedish tour that we're making the album first and the Marble Machine later, and I already like let go of that promise. But when the Marble Machine X is done, this focus that I've been having on the engineering side, I'm gonna switch to the melodies, to the music. So, and I really want to make new music for the double album. That's my biggest dream, music that I haven't heard, music that you haven't heard. So I'm gonna, like, when the Marble Machine is done, I'm gonna just sit down and think. I'm gonna probably maybe stay off internet for some time and just try to think, and I will fix a nice room where I will put all my instruments and just start playing them. And just like same process that I have with the Marble Machine. And I think Paul McCartney once said that he doesn't know how a song gets written, and that's also true for me. It's not, I don't like this picture over romantic picture, like you sit with your feathered goose pen like Beethoven with a piano and the music comes to you from some kind of outlandish magical source. I think actually like the people from ABBA once said that it's all about hard work, and if you wait outside the cave with your sword, you're gonna just slay the dragon when it sticks out its head. That's how music is written. Okay. Ender Manso, what do you think about making music only with computers? I have absolutely no problem with that. I think it's all about the feelings that you put into the music. I can really enjoy myself making music with only computer, but I do think now that I do get more and more interested in the flaws of played acoustic instruments, and I sample a lot of my instruments, and I would like to make more tutorials on how I do that. So my music box, for example, I play it one note at a time and I record that, and then I put it into the EXS24 sampler, and then I can play it on MIDI keyboard. So that's like a kind of a mix between making it with computer, because I can quantize everything so it's completely tight. I can take away notes that is wrong and stuff like that. But on the double album, I definitely want to have more. We had a lot played instruments on the first album, but I think I'm ready to have more flaws saved in the music. So if there's a good take with a little bit corny mistakes that doesn't ruin the whole thing, I will try to keep it. And of course, I will delete all that and make it perfect in the end. And this is just something I say right now. So, another question. Nick Bond, will you be using Lego in the new machine? That was what brought my attention to the original one. No, we won't. The programming wheel is replaced by a much more secure system, which is a CNC'd pattern in a polyethylene plastic. And we're using rod magnets, and we're using a thin layer of metal sheet under. So the rod magnets go down in the holes, and they're held in place by the sheet metal and sideways by the polyethylene plastic. So no Legos in the new machine. Dmitry Narashita, I'm Hufflepuff. What house would you be sorting to? I think I have to say Gryffindor. I know it's not so inventive, I think, but I think it's Gryffindor. What do you think? Kim R says, go Hufflepuff. Okay, so now I'm updated on the chat down here. Yes, Gryffindor, someone says. TDO Brandano says, nah, clearly Ravenclaw. I was like, I'm not so educated on Ravenclaw, actually. Marvin Huyana Mulatto, why did you do the Dr. Wily theme on your channel and not another theme from another game, for example? Oh, it was just the first one I did because it's been on my wish list to do for a super long time, and it might. I maybe will make another game sometimes. I'm thinking if I start to become a little bit tired. So I think more. I could do this for hours, but I think for your sake that I should actually try to round this up. I'm gonna go through and see. Lelos, you jumped my comment, crying. Lelos, can you please put your comment again, and I will really not jump it. So because I don't want anyone to cry. So Lelos, can you please write again your comment? Yappy, will you be building on the machine Friday? Yes. Oh, that was you who asked if you're... Yeah, we will be there Friday. Are you coming to the Spielplatz Museum? You should... You can come... I think I told everyone to come in, so maybe you can come in and just look at us struggling. So then maybe I see you on Friday. Apasha Bonkov, excuse the pronunciation. Exactly how many instruments do you play? I have no clue. But I'm not mastering. Maybe I'm a little bit mastering the guitar, but not absolutely not close to people who are actually mastering it. But all the other instruments I just cheat. So if you wanna play an instrument, just start to play it and cheat. It's just play and you will be able to get away with so much. But I want to be a better accordionist. I have bought a really good accordion with buttons, and I'm thinking of making a YouTube video series where you can learn to play accordion with me, because I have bought a book, so I'm gonna start from the beginning. So we're gonna start, like, maybe I can make accordion lessons as a way of making sure that I make accordion lessons for myself. So I don't know exactly how many instruments I play. Cats or dogs? Dogs. Jason Bridges, do you think you will tour the United States? Absolutely. We will start there once the double album is out and we start the tour. Josefin Berntsson, oh my god, ja, dragspelskola. She liked the idea with the accordion school, so we're gonna try with that. Gustav Duffmats, bästa Detektivbyrån-låten. I am really fond of the E18 song with Detektivbyrån. I think that song has a simplicity and yet a complexity at the same time. So E18 is my favorite. Lelos. Here it is, Martin. When are you coming to Brazil? My name is Lelos, in case you don't see my name. I see your name. So, Brazil will be hopefully in the tour after Machine X in the world. Then we go to the States and Japan and South America. And in that South America leg, they say that South America is complicated because of that we have to make... Jonas, the logistics guy, told me that we have to make, we have to apply for every country individually. But I really want to play in South America, and so we're coming when the album is done. We'll definitely play in Brazil. When will we see the Modular again? I'm going to build for the album and for the next tour a better version of the Modular. So it's on the shelf right now, and I'm not gonna do that until I start to make the music. Are you coming to Belgium? I really hope so, from Frederick Druppel. But as I said, the tour is going to be maybe 3 years in the future or something like that. Bloodcorn, will you do another long song like Paradise? Yes, I would love that. Jason Beadle, can we have a building contest? Sounds fun, but I don't really know exactly what you mean. Or maybe a remix. Oh, that's a good idea. We should do that on the new album. Thanks for that idea, Jason. Ori Rosen, can you make a dubstep machine? I love dubstep, and I have this idea of making a really musically dubstep song from Power Tools, like Power Tool dubstep. I know it's been done, but I think I can do it really well. And so what would be cool is to make a dubstep song when recording sounds where I'm actually building something. That's one of the videos that is on my whiteboard at home. Kifir Nisim, hi Martin, do you have any plan for making a community project such as the Music Box Laser Capture with love from Israel? I'm thinking about starting a forum because there is so much nice people and that I see reacting to the ideas that I put out, and I would like to connect you with each other. I think that would be so great. So I'm trying to making a new Wintergatan website for the sole purpose of having a functional forum. And maybe on this forum, maybe like people who wants to do this project can meet, and maybe I'm not always involved myself because I'm probably busy with the double album, but maybe I will be there commenting, and maybe it's gonna be a little bit of feeling of a community project. What was cool with the Music Box project that Sebastian Janssen and the other people did and still doing is that they just took over and they didn't by themselves from there on. They didn't ask me anything once it was all running. So stuff like that would be really, really nice. I'm reading through the questions. Norwegian fans, stäng av den där jävla fönen och svara på frågan. Har du varit i Skåne? I don't really catching this reference, but yes, I have been to Skåne. It sounds like Hassan. Yule Blinker is in the chat. Yay, still coding. So Yule Blinker is one of the people who are working. Hey Yule Blinker, nice to see you here. Yule Blinker is one of the people who are working on the Music Box software. Nice to see you here. How much, Elias Eluma, how much sleep do you get and how many work hours do you have? Greetings from Finland. I need so much sleep, and as you can see under my eyes, I don't get it. I am, especially this week when I'm working with the marble machine, I get too little sleep because I have a long way to travel to Utrecht in the mornings, and I need like 8 hours per night or something. So that's a little bit crazy. So I need a lot, and I'm not getting enough. Christian Stuck, what's the story behind the Sloth, Scogan Disc Golf song? Okay, Christian, I would love to tell you that, because Sloth, Scogan Disc Golf Club is a club where I started playing disc golf. The peak of my career was when I was in Swedish Championships in the team. I was reserved for the team, so I said I don't want to play. But magically on the morning, like one of the team broke his leg, one had fever, and the third had fever. So they was like, Martin, you're playing. And I played disc golf then for maybe 2 years, and I was up against people who took silver in European Championships. And I was really the little goat in Jurassic Park, and they were the T-Rex, you know, there was foof. I've said that analogy before. But the story about why I named the song that, it was when I was making the first Wintergatan album, I was there every day playing disc golf, and it was such a cool place because no one asked anything. about career, social life, what you thought of this or that. Everyone was there to throw frisbees, and that was the only thing we talked about. And it was like this playground feeling when you didn't make any meeting. I just went there, and some of my friends were always there. I don't remember when you're playing as a child. Anyway, for me it was like that. I just went out in the yard and started playing with the people who was there, the kids who was there, or I could like knock the door of my friend and said, "Do you want to play?" And he said yes or no, and he didn't ask, "What are we gonna play?" There was like not. And that was exactly the feeling of being at Scogan disc golf club. It's a fantastic guy named Boo who has the club, and I was hanging out with Boo and his sister Marianne so much, and my friend Jared, and we were just having so much fun while I was recording the albums. I was recording a little bit in the morning, I went out to play disc golf for 4 hours, and then I was recording in the afternoon. And that meant so much to me to have that place where I could hang out with these lovely people and see frisbees fly through the air. So that was why I wanted to name a song after them. And they have actually changed names since. They're called Castlewood now. And I have to make another song to tribute Castlewood. I'm gonna take another question. Okay, I know a way how to end this nicely. We're gonna end it at 10 o'clock. Then we did a 2-hour stream because I am starting to rambling more and more and more. The sun is setting. It's beautiful. Should we do the last part on the terrace? Would that be fun? Let's try that. It's actually nice, huh? Do you hear the birds? So I'm just gonna film a little bit so you can see. So this is actually a houseboat, and Dutch people are super good at houseboats. So they live a lot on the water, and they're building new houses in Amsterdam now that's going to float if the water level rises. Okay. You're quick. Are you in the Netherlands now? Yes, because I'm working at the Speelvak Museum with the first marble machine. Como06, watching you in Australia, 5:30 a.m. Good morning. Nina Dow, how did you and the others met? This is a question that we get often, and I think we should make a video about that. I think we should have, when we start recording the double album, I will spend much more time with the band, and then we should cover that story in a proper video. So it's not only me talking about it, but we should. But it was, as I talked about a little bit in the chat, that I searched for musicians that I love to play with, and that were also not scared of trying new instruments. So they were like, learn to play harp 2 weeks before we had our first show where them were playing harp. Max Thado, say hi for Brazil. Hi Brazil. And then I seen a question, will you be able to collaborate with Owl City? Greetings from Sarawak. I don't know. I don't know if it's a, let me just search for Owl City. Aha. Yeah, it's the fireflies. Of course. Sorry for my ignorance. It shines through, doesn't it? He lives in a la la land with music boxes. That would be super fun to collaborate with Owl City. There's a lot of questions that coming in the chat now that I already answered. So if there is like, I think we're gonna put up this video afterwards, and maybe I can do it, or maybe one of you can do it, to like just put all the questions and times. So then it's easy for people to go back and check that. And if I see a comment like that, or if you did it, you can email me and tell me that you did that comment, and I put your comment as top comment. So I feel sorry for you if you have to go through this again, but otherwise maybe I will have time to do it sometime so people can know where to click to answer a specific question. Bloodcorn, will you move to France permanently or just for the album? Permanently. Until I move somewhere else, but it's not just a project to record it. It's to live that. Benji Bunbun finally answered. Yeah, that's the Owl City question. You were I saw it so many times, so you did totally right. This is the same if you ever want me to reply to an email. You just have to email me a lot of times, and which is horrible, but that's just how it is. But you have been a great companion on my desk while I work, from said Sposato. I have to say likewise. That's you. Thank you so much. That has been the same for me. This has been so fun. I don't know how I can do this better. I don't know if we can have the accordion lessons live, or how we can. This was the first time I was trying it, so I'm gonna have to think about ways to evolve it. Continue testing. Aren't you sad to leave Sweden? No. I think I will see my Swedish friends and family maybe more when I move, because I live on this island, and I think it's really, really cool to try to live somewhere else to get that perspective. And someone asked about Simon Giertz earlier. If you're still here, you will get this reference. But Simon Giertz said in a video, I'm moving back to Sweden, which is very exciting for the people of Sweden. And it was like, I don't feel like that. But when Simon said it, it was really funny. There is a special culture in Sweden that when I'm in Holland now, everyone is so nice. I don't know where I should go, so I have to talk with people all the time to find my way. And it's not like in the way they help me, it's just in the way they talk to me. Like people live like this close in Holland. It's like 17 million on this little people on this little surface. In Sweden it's 7 million on like a super big surface. So people are used to having people around each other. But I have to say, like, generally walking around in Holland is really, really pleasant. Comes to how people talk to each other. And that's one of the things that is a little bit dodgy sometimes in Sweden. They can. We have. I'm just gonna tell you one example. This is very, very, very generalizing, but I'm just gonna tell you one example of what I'm actually talking about. I live on an island, right? And there's people working on the boats. And on these boats, I can't believe I'm telling you this story. Maybe you're gonna like it. On these boats, there is like this cargo trolley that you can use for equipment, and it's supposed to cost €5 to rent it, but they never ask the people who lives on the island to rent it. It's a little bit like, I know you don't have to pay, but all the foreign workers and the tourists are asked to pay the price. And when I moved there, I was like in a gray zone, like should I pay the rent for the trolleys or not? And so far, not a little bit of a problem, of course, but what happens then when you take a trolley and you just put it somewhere is that they don't come and tell you like, excuse me, but you have to rent this for €5. They say nothing until you walk off the boat and they're like safe. Then they scream after you, next time you will fucking pay. So that's like how it's solved. If I was in Holland taking a trolley that I actually need to rent without knowing that I should rent it, they would say, hey Pipoche, you should pay some €5 for that little trolley. And I would pay them €5. But in Sweden it becomes this passive aggressive, which I myself am a big have much trouble with. It's getting very late in the stream now and I'm rambling, but like, so the fear of conflicts is so huge in the Swedish society, and the silence between people. We're rather silent the rest of our lives than saying what we think. And I'm gonna think that's gonna turn completely upside down in France. And I'm not sure I fit in better because I'm accustomed to the climate there. But if you get my thing with this troll, that they're actually not asking, they're not asking you for the €5, but they're gonna scream at you when they're going away from you. That's the kind of thing that I'm not going to miss. Okay. Talking for 20 minutes, not reading the chat. 10 out of 10. Josephine Bertson, also the space between people when waiting for the bus. She's Swedish, Josephine. So there's a lot of Swedish people agreeing. I don't want to generalize. The best thing with Sweden is the tap water. I would be a little bit scared of actually swimming in the water here. I mean, in Sweden, you can actually take a glass of water out of any water. I mean, Sweden is such a rich country. It's such a privilege to have. I mean, the reason why we have a big music export from Sweden is that it's a very rich country, and like it gave me, without my family not being rich or anything, but it gave me the freedom of experiment with sounds, and so I owe that to Sweden, that I had this chance and this upbringing in a small little city where there was nothing to do except trying to have fun with music. So all you fellow Swedes, I'm like the fantastic tap water and the ideas around equality and the ideas of trying to be progressive when it comes to environmental issues and stuff like that. There has a lot of going for it, but this culture with ultimate silence and is one of the problems. So I think I think it's a luxury to have grown up in Sweden. I own a lot of thanks to Sweden for that. Okay. Said Sposato again. Hey, I wonder how crazy the ramblings will get as the sun goes down. Yeah, that's why we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it in 7 minutes, because then we did 2 hours. Daniela Paula, can I give you a hug when you come to Argentina? Yes. Did you ever play video games? Yes, I played Nintendo 8-bit. And I played Nintendo 8-bit. That was actually what I loved. Already with Super Nintendo, I thought the graphics became a little bit too advanced. I'm a very Nintendo 8-bit person. Christopher Fagerfjell. The Swedish West Coast salt water and rocks is also nice. Won't you miss it? That's very true. It's very beautiful nature. I'm a forest person. I love forests. And the good thing with Provence is that there is a lot of forests. Hope Provence will be nice. Thanks, Christopher. Well, it's not sure it's going to happen yet. We're gonna see. But the dream is actually to have the music studio somewhere. And it's actually not... It's actually less expensive in Provence than what it is in Sweden to get a house, to buy a house. So I can get more square meters for a studio in Provence than what I can in Sweden. Xander Arbau, Sweden is super progressive compared to the States. Yeah, that is true, and that's why I really wanted to modify my complaints a little bit. But I don't know. I think sometimes when I meet American people, I think we have a lot to learn from you as well. So I think we can take the best out of different cultures and just cherry pick. Akira Kido, greetings from El Salvador. Hola. Luca Jose, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I want to get the Marble Machine X working with the Marble Machine X development team doing such a fantastic job. I think we're gonna do that. We're going to do that, and then I want to make this music that I have never heard and that you have never heard. And I want to make 10 calmer songs on one album and 10 more intensive songs on the other album. And I want
to make 20 videos for these songs, and I want to put them out on YouTube, and then I want to go on the tour, and I want you to come to the concert and feel that you have been with us on this long journey for such a long time at that point, and I want you to feel that it's been worth it, and I want to just like walk out on that stage and start spinning the Marble Machine X up, and it's maybe like just comes a bass drum, and then there comes like a dance beat, and 10,000 people just starts to dance to that. That's what I see in 5 years. Maybe even in 5 years we have actually experienced that 1 or 2 years before, and I'm able to do more music, maybe with more collaborations, and to do the next record, because it doesn't have to take 6 years between records. That's just out of, I don't know. So maybe we can maybe we're already on the 3rd record. Nick Bond, I can hear the birds, gulls in the background. Yeah, there's crazy, here in Holland, they have crazy birds that dive into the water, and then they're gone for so long time, they're completely under the surface and come up somewhere else. So it's like this whole water behind you is actually full with birds under the surface. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. So I don't think it's seagulls, it's more maybe someone. There's another one. Okay, so we ended also this video with some wildlife fun. Ottar Kramer, if you ever want to incorporate pyrotechnics in your stage show, I'd love to be your bollplank. Wow, that's cool. Have you seen the halftime show with Bruce Springsteen from the Super Bowl? So for Ottar Kramer, I think the use of pyrotechnics in the halftime Bruce Springsteen, it's on YouTube. I think it's one of the best 11 minutes I have seen on stage. Okay, I'm gonna give you the link, because if you didn't have enough when we say goodbye, I think you can just watch the halftime show with Bruce Springsteen. I just listened to his audiobook. It's 18 hours of him talking about his life. He wrote it himself. And I promise you, in the first minute, I had punched the sky and said, yes! I had shed a tear, and I had laughed out loud in the first minute. He's a fantastic storyteller, and the thing in the book, when he talks about this halftime show, he says it summons his whole career. He tells like a story over 11 minutes, and I'm gonna search that YouTube clip for you right now. And how I got to this, because Ottar asked about pyrotechnics, and there is in the background, that's the best use of pyrotechnics I've ever seen, because that's the only time they switch to the helicopter camera, and you see the pyrotechnics going up the whole stadium. Give me 1 second and I'll find it for you. Bruce Springsteen halftime show. The whole halftime show spectacle is quite... Okay, let's try. I'm just gonna see if I have the right link here. Yeah, I was just checking the audio. This is correct. So when we say goodbye, if you want to watch what I think is one of the 11 most intensive minutes ever happened on a stage, you can watch this halftime show. I'm posting it in the chat now. It's coming up there. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Bruce halftime. And especially then for you, Ottar, if you want to make pyrotechnics with Wintergatan, can you please check how Bruce Springsteen did this in his Super Bowl halftime show? Because that's about how we want it. Okay. I'm gonna round this up now because it's 2 hours, and I hope you liked the live stream. It was super fun for me to try something new, and see you. Thank you for 500k subscribers. I'm gonna try to. My plans for the channel is to be a little bit more clear about what kind of videos I will make for you, because I want to make videos that are about music, and then I should not talk, and then I can make rambling videos where I talk, and you should be able to know from the thumbnail and title what is what. So if you see my YouTube channel as an ice cream truck, maybe you only like the vanilla and the chocolate but not the banana. I'm gonna try to be clear with what kind of videos I do, so then you don't have to click the banana video, but you can see the vanilla and the chocolate. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but thank you so much. Everyone saying goodbye on the chat. I am really happy for all your support. I hope I can give something back by doing this music that I've been talking about that not me or you have heard before. Wow, thank you so much for being here with me on this first try. Okay, bye bye from the Netherlands. I'm gonna let the birds finish this off. Bye bye. I'm still here. It's so funny. I don't know which button I should press. Okay. See you on the next Wintergatan Wednesday.